For more, let's bring in GOP strategist, host of the 13-minute News Hour, Bobby Eberle. Bobby, you know, this was a Epoch Times, Iris, David Brody was pointing out to me. She was a reporter who was actually accosted in Washington, D.C., and survived, of course, and was there with her beautiful smile to tell us about it. This, though, is something that really strikes a chord. And what's interesting about this is it strikes a chord even with those who might ordinarily oppose Trump doing this. Because those reporters, they're out there walking those streets every night. They know it's happened to people that they know. And that might make a little bit of difference, no?
That's right. I mean, when this first started going down with President Trump announcing that this takeover, bringing in the National Guard, the knee-jerk reaction of the media, I think, wanted to be to condemn it. But then they start talking to the reporters, their anchors, and they're saying, well, you know what? I got robbed. You know, I know a friend that got mugged. And it's very real. It brings it home. People were talking about not being able to walk the streets after 8 p.m., you know, just to go back for the restaurant or go down to a store. So this is very real, and crime affects Republicans and Democrats. And so it's hard to just denounce it, even with a big old degree of Trump derangement syndrome. You know, they see the reality and they see what's happened in just these couple weeks. And it's real. Any of these reports from people on the street where the Democrats are trying to do an angle saying, hey, we don't want this, it's authoritarian. People love it. They love the safer streets. They notice the difference already, and the stats are proving it.
No doubt about that. Hey, Bobby, David Brody here. Listen, so here, before I get to the question, can I just make a statement about Trump's cabinet meeting yesterday? 3 hours and 14 minutes with the cameras rolling the entire time. I've decided that Netflix should really do a limited series on this and just call it. They should call it The Cabinet, I've decided. And like,
hey,
this
like
could
that.
be season 2, because it's term 2, season 2, and this was the 7th cabinet meeting. So season 2, episode 7, kind of like let it rip. I mean, I literally, I think they could do something. They could make a lot of money that way. Let me get to another part of this 3 hour and 14-minute extravaganza. President Trump touched on Illinois, and then he had this to say about potentially sending National Guard troops to Chicago. Take a look, Bobby.
So I would have much more respect for Pritzker if he'd call me up and say, I have a problem. Can you help me fix it? I would be so happy to do it. I don't love... Not that I don't have the right to do anything I want to do. I'm the president of the United States. If I think our country's in danger, and it is in danger in these cities, I can do it. No problem going in and solving, you know, his difficulties. But it would be nice if they'd call and they'd say, would you do it?
Actually, the one thing that caught my attention in that soundbite was when Trump said, I'm the president of the United States. I can do whatever I want to do. I feel like liberals just literally smelling salts needed to be handed out to them at that point. But you know, they always take him literally rather than figuratively, and they don't understand what he's trying to say, which is that, yeah, he's got power to do things that presidents haven't done before, and he's willing to break the norms here, Bobby.
Well, yeah, and that was the point I was going to make, is that, like, embedded in everything Trump says from a policy perspective, I think is like trolling, just embedded trolling, knowing how to trigger the Dems, knowing how to trigger the media and the left. And so as he's talking about reducing crime, you know, Pritzker's head's exploding, Brandon Johnson's head's exploding, but these guys that refuse to address it. It is the classic 80-20 issue, or even greater, of people wanting to be safe, wanting to walk their neighborhoods, wanting to be out with family. And the Democrats oppose it at every turn. They let bad guys out on the street. Brendan Johnson did an interview on MSNBC where he was asked directly, hey, will 5,000 extra cops on your street help? He couldn't answer. He wouldn't answer the question because he wants to push all these social programs and ways to be lenient and not enforce the laws. He couldn't answer the question, and that's why the president has to step in to make our streets safer.
Hey, Bobby, really quickly, I want to go back to that cabinet meeting, 3 hours. I'm calling it revolutionary. I can't remember an administration that we've seen in which people have had this sort of access to cabinet members, especially for 3 hours. I'd love put this into perspective for us. How, again, revolutionary, that's the best word I can think of this is.
Well, right. I mean, in this short term, he's already had, what, 7 or 9 of these cabinet meetings, bringing people together. They're talking business. They're addressing all the issues. They're open to the press. I mean, the president is there just freestyling it and going for it. And you know what? It's informative. It's direct to the media, but it also has a lot of humor to it, too. I mean, Marco Rubio was joking yesterday about the 4 jobs he's going to celebrate for this coming Labor Day. So it really opens up to the fact that these are people, they care about the country, and they want to move us in a right direction. And it's unified under the leadership of President Trump. Everyone is on the same page. And you see this level of competency that if you compare it with Biden's cabinet, it's just like night and day, but you didn't get to see them. You get to see these people in action with the president, and I love it.
And by the way, let me just quickly say, I love how President Trump ended the cabinet meeting where he said, look, we're giving you guys open access here. This has never been done before, which is true. And then he said, because we're an open government and we're an open administration and we want you to see it. And that is phenomenal. Gina, please.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
Yeah, absolutely, Bobby. We could take more time singing the praises of transparency because we all love it. I'd love to see it in medicine. I'd love to see it with hospitals. I'd love to see it with veterinary medicine. There are a lot of other places we could hope it is contagious. Bobby Eberle, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bobby.
All right, friends, thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And before you go, please hit that subscribe button above. Once you do, tell your friends, share it, spread the word about the 13-minute news hour so we can keep growing. And for more great content, check out these videos right here, and I'll see you next time.